Hey ladies, and welcome. This is week 27 of the Millionista Mastermind. I am so excited to be here with you this evening. Tonight we are going to talk about Millionista Insider marketing tips. Marketing is such a crucial piece into the growth of your business. I know some people were having a couple of issues accessing the link, so I want to make sure that everybody had a chance to join. So let me pop in the group and make sure that everybody here what should we, let's get that going. Let me check in. I think there are people here now. Hello. If you can hear me and see me, let me know. I want to look at the questions you guys had real quick too. Tanya had a question that I'm going to answer before we even get started. Where did that question go? Well, here we go. Regarding Facebook ads budget, you were $100,000 in debt and paid everyone else before yourself. But how were you able to maintain your standard of living and also invest in Facebook ads to drive your business? I'm working on my Facebook ads budget and just thought of that. So I didn't actually use Facebook ads to create revenue within my company when I first started. Very interesting story. It was actually something I wanted to talk about tonight. But going back to having over $100,000 worth of debt and paying everybody for it before I paid myself, well, clearly that was part of the debt, was making investments in my business, which actually helped me move the needle on my success. But I had a significant savings when I left corporate America, which I exhausted. And then after that, I did take out personal unsecured loans to fund the efforts of growing my business. I was transitioning from another company that I had significant debt, and I took out unsecured loans, a lot of them, and just put everything in one basket. Thank God I had good credit. I was able to do that. And I believed in what I was doing. I hired a high dollar mentor, and I just put one foot in front of the other and made shit happen. It just wasn't, for me, it wasn't going to not work out at that point. It was the only thing left. But I felt so different about Success Society when I was starting to build the company than I did about my previous business. I felt like I was right in alignment. I felt like I was being called to do this. I didn't feel a lot of resistance. So the debt at that point didn't really scare me. It's not that it didn't always scare me. It was very paralyzing for quite some time. But when I finally committed to taking responsibility and getting my shit together, it wasn't going to stop me any longer. So I hope that answered your question. Now, Facebook ads budget, didn't start with a Facebook ads budget, didn't run Facebook ads when I first started the business, actually. Let me check in real quick and see. We've got a couple more. Okay, I think I see everybody. Not live. What is that about? This says live. This says live. This says not live. Huh. Let me check in real quick. Sorry. Anyway, while we get this figured out, when I started my business, I didn't use Facebook ads. So I didn't know enough about Facebook ads to feel confident in using Facebook ads to leverage my business. I simply went out there and I started showing up in a really big way. I created a Facebook domination schedule, and I was just being visible on a really big scale. I figured out where my ideal clients were hanging out, and I spoke to them based on personal experience. I just started sharing my story, and that was it. And I started building relationships with people, and I made it more about serving people than selling people. If you guys can hear me and see me, can you comment in the chat box so I know not to start a new link? I'm pretty sure you can now. Yeah, I just started showing up, becoming extremely visible. I started talking to people online. I did a lot of call and response posts in groups where promotions were allowed. I really became known, I feel like, doing that. Got a lot of responses from people, talked about, at the time, have you ever felt overwhelmed, paralyzed by fear, that your debt defines you, all of these things that I had been able to actually overcome and been okay with in my business. I wasn't out of debt at the time. I was in debt still at the time, but I had put myself on a path to a debt payoff plan. So I was, moving forward in the direction. And to be honest with you, without a single ad budget, I went from 0 to 20 grand a month within 45 days of starting Success Society. And that was, I would say that the reason why that happened the way that it did, because I'm not sure if that's really the type of success that most experience, is because I had done a lot of work behind the scenes before revealing the company, right? The website was built. I spent a lot of money on the website. I had an email list from my previous business, which carried over. I started showing up in a really huge way on social media. I started cultivating those relationships. Like I said, made it more about service than selling. And so that was the way at the time that I was marketing. That was my marketing efforts. But today I specifically want to talk to you about marketing on a bigger scale and how important it is. I don't know what's going on and why people are having issues. I don't see anybody in the chat box. So tonight I'm going to walk you through new techniques and old techniques that I've adapted in my business to up-level my success through the use of old school and new school, I would say, marketing techniques and methods. Like I said, when I started, I had a $0 marketing budget. And I had invested in other things. I'm not sure if that was the best way to build my business, but that's how I did build my business. And I want to speak to you obviously authentically, but I'm actually going to share my screen with you this evening and take you through some of the top producing marketing campaigns that are going on behind the scenes in my business right now. So you can see, as I said, when I just started showing up. I started showing up in places, started building relationships with people, started speaking from personal experience, started getting them on the phone, having free consultations, building up my confidence, and having sales calls. And in a very short amount of time, I went from making $0 a month to 20 grand a month. And that was the first stop. And then from there, it just got better and better and better month over month. And then I created an opt-in, clearly. I knew that I needed to have a way to collect leads, because at that time I wasn't even collecting leads besides getting them through my appointment calendar. So that was one of the first things that I did. And then basically I just started growing a presence online that way. Now, obviously, most of you know, today I do utilize Facebook ads. I use Facebook ads in a really big way to maximize conversions. And it's about testing them and tweaking them to get the lowest cost per conversion, and then turning them up little by little in a very strategic way to get the results that you want. Most people don't understand the behind the scenes mechanics, not only of Facebook ads, but how to really connect with their audience and engage with their audience in a way that gets them to click the buy button, okay? Marketing is a tricky machine if you don't know what you're doing, and you can spend a lot of money in the wrong places if you don't have a strategic plan in place, which is something that I actually work on building sales funnels behind the scenes with my private clients, not just the actual strategy of the sales funnel, but all the pieces and parts that get people moving through the funnel at a certain rate. So there's certain things that we can project on consumer behavior, and the other things you don't know until you actually pop up ads and test them and see how people respond to different points in your funnel. Testing is really, really, really crucial in regards to marketing, because You may think that something is going to hit it out of the park, but your ideal client may think differently on the other end. And so it's really speaking their language. Just to give you an idea, when we start a Facebook ad campaign, in some cases, we're running as much as 30 different ads. 30. It's not that those ads are running for a really long time. Those ads are probably running for $5 a day for 5 days at the most. So yeah, it's a significant amount of money, but the thing is the amount of money that we're actually saving from doing all the testing up front will allow us to leverage our success. So on average, I'm spending about $4,000 a month currently on Facebook ads, but I anticipate that we will continue to raise the budget frequently. I mean, I'm raising it every week, actually. It was a couple months ago, it was just $3,000 a month. Now it's $4,000 a month, and we're continuing to go up and up and up because we're creating a significant return. You know, we're seeing what works and what doesn't work. I am in all right, I think I will shut this off and start over because